Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How's it going, everybody? We are here with Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 5, and we're really looking forward into jumping into this one. But before I forget, I just want to thank all of you out there who have been liking and sharing and reposting our TikTok and Instagram and YouTube shorts. We really appreciate all the support out there. If you could keep it up, find a friend who hasn't seen Stranger Things yet or is getting really excited about Season 5 and you want to share one of our reels, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, and if you enjoy Friends, we also like to post a couple of Friends episodes each week as well. So if you haven't listened to those and you're into it, please check those out. Or if you just know someone else in your life who enjoys Friends, please share that with them. We would love, the support of any kind. So, but getting into today's episode, I want to just quickly remind us where we left things off in chapter 4 from last week. We were with the boys and Joyce, where they were concerned with how Will was doing because he was having more frequent trips back into the upside down. I guess I'll just call them trips for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
11 was returning to the cabin and got in a huge fight with Hopper. Will's temperature was becoming hypothermic. Nancy and Jonathan were going to the park to meet with Barb's mom and ended up being detained by Dr. Owen's people. But they did record that meeting while they were there. The kids were all continuing to look for Dart at school while Dustin kept it a secret in his bedroom, and that's when things went terribly wrong and Dart decided to kill his cat Mew. And Elle blindfolds herself to connect with her mother after finding the file box in Hopper's cabin. And meanwhile, we were with Will, where he was drawing all of those, the tunnels. And Hopper, looking at those drawings, realized, hey, this might be related to the pumpkin patch, and he's digging into the ground where he jumped into the upside down, and that's where we left things.
Yeah, and last week, when it came to the ratings, it was not my favorite episode. It was kind of middle of the pack. It was an 8.3. You definitely had it as your least favorite episode last week. It was an 8. And the fans tied it with their top episode of the season so far in an 8.5, but I am noticing a trend here of the episodes keep getting higher ratings as we go, and I have a feeling as we go through this one, that trend's going to continue.
Yeah, I don't know even, going back to last week, for me, I felt like it wasn't quite as much tension as some of the others. We're still really at the beginning phase of where maybe it's because I just, we know where it's going and there were a lot of building blocks there, but it didn't captivate me as much as some of the others. I know you pointed out how it was the shortest episode so far, so maybe that was part of it, but yeah, so this one when we get to the ratings, we'll get more into those details, but just to get ahead of that, I did rate this one a lot higher. So I really enjoyed this episode a lot.
I think the first 4 episodes of every Stranger Things season just kind of like take their time building up like where all the storylines kind of go. And now we get to this point where we're middle of the season and the action starts happening a little bit more. But
is this one 8 episodes?
This one's got 9, I'm pretty certain.
9, it's not. Okay.
It's either 8, I think they go like 8, then 9, then 8, then 9 again. So we'll have to see where we go with this, but let's kick it off.
Yeah, so this one is chapter 5, Dig Dug, which is a reference back to that game that Max likes to play in
And
the
also,
and
the
also Hopper.
digging into
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
vines.
Hopper's in real life Dig Dug.
He is full on Dig Dug in real life.
Now, this wasn't a game that I played, so I don't
No.
have experience with this. I don't know. Did you play Dig Dug, Eric?
No,
Or
not. I
okay.
mean, maybe in an arcade a couple
Yeah.
times, but like
Yeah.
not a ton.
Yeah. Well, we kick things off here with Joyce trying to call Hopper with no luck. And, she's holding that, I believe is what is one of the last squares of Will's drawing. And she's trying to like figure out where she's going to connect it. And then we jump to Will talking to Mike because if you remember, at the end of the last episode, Mike was trying to hang out and like check in with Will and see what's going
Yeah.
on. And when he, approached Joyce, she did finally let him in. And, because they really all, as you had pointed out, Ark, it's like they really do all need to band back together again.
They do. And I think that's part of these like early episodes, when they're all kind of doing their own thing, it's not as
Yeah.
exciting as when
Yeah.
they're all a lot closer together.
So true. Yeah.
But I will
we have-
say it's nice to see Will out of his trance a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see kind of Mike come to the rescue again a little bit here.
I loved how calm and collected Mike was and how
Yes.
supportive. It was really impressive because, these are 13-year-old boys. Will is telling Mike, it's like I feel what the shadow monster is feeling and see what he's seeing. It's in this house and it's in me. And, it's reaching into Hawkins more and more. At first, I just felt like it was in the back of my head, like a dream, like you can't really remember it. And, Mike is just sitting there taking all of this in. And he's really quickly trying to spin it and make him have him take more of a positive outlook on this, like I feel like this is all happening for a reason is kind of what he's telling him, and that this is going to help them basically fight this monster, right? Like this is now giving him access into that part
He
he
refers to him as a super spy now.
Yeah.
Which is a far more positive look on Will's situation than what I'm sure Will is feeling like.
Yeah.
But the idea that he has like a special role and maybe all the stuff that he sees can in fact help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it's a great selling point. And it does seem to calm Will a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Because he also knows then he's got his friend backing him up.
That's right. Yeah. And he was just, I was really impressed with how comforting Mike was for him. And, because Will is, while he's out of his trance, he is like sweating through his clothes. He's tapping his leg anxiously. Like you can tell he is a bit of a mess. So having Mike there with him is, I'm sure, just making him feel a lot better. And, then we flash back to a scene with Hopper in the tunnels. And, this is why he's not answering Joyce's calls. He's with his
he's in another dimension.
Just that. And so he's with he has this flashlight. He's waving that around. He's hearing sounds in the distance. It's, it's a really tight tunnel. It's like he's inside a creature is sort of what it looks like. And because there's all things kind of starting to move around him and in the walls, and then all of a sudden it's like he just is getting sprayed by like these particles, like these spores almost into his face. And it's happened now more than once, and it causes him to fall over, and he's now unconscious. And these vines are just creeping around him and closing in on him. And then that's where you get the credits.
Yeah, and those spores, I wasn't sure 100% if they are the thing populating all of the like particles that we see whenever somebody's in the upside down, where it looks like snowfall, because they're just kind of blasting it. I couldn't tell if they were releasing them or just like pushing the ones that were there out of the way.
Yeah.
So
it
I was a little confused by that. Not certain.
It wasn't
that
crystal clear, but I took that as like that was their weapon, their way of taking down this other organism and trying to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was.
Yeah, there was nothing good coming out of that.
No.
Hopper didn't find it like all warm and fuzzy.
No. He was then down. It took this large man down. So he's now on the ground alone in this tunnel.
Well, and it was noteworthy that he had made his way all the way back to the hole that he was going to try to get out of. Yeah. And then it like closed up over him. So even if somebody found his entrance point, those vines were trying to seal him in.
I was too busy digging the hole. This is way bigger than Joey's hole.
It's way
At
bigger.
The beach, people. This is... Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
These are not jellyfish tentacles. They are.
Oh, no. So then we're with Jonathan and Nancy where they're arriving at a motel. They are asked by this monotone desk clerk, you guys want a single or double? They both like basically say in unison, and they're in this room together, each on their own bed. And, Nancy says, oh, deja vu, when, talking to Jonathan about, or I think he asks her if she wants the lights on or off, which is similar to when they were in her room together after first dealing with the upside down. And so she's pointing out, how similar that feels. And, they're then comparing hand scars from when they drew blood together. Right. And, it's almost like they're about to kiss in the scene. Everything was lined up, but
I don't know if I'm going that far. Okay. They were definitely bonding, though. They were certainly bonding.
Grazing hands. Things were.
Yes.
Yeah. And, and Nancy's asking, well, what happened to us? And, you just disappeared. And Jonathan is saying, well, Will needed me. And then there was Steve. And she's saying, I waited. And he's pointing out that it was only for a month. So she, she's really upset by this comment.
Which I would like to let the record show goes back to the end of season 1. Because we get the whole a month later.
Yes.
And then Steve is there with Nancy. Well, not with her, but when Nancy gives Jonathan the camera, Steve is present on the couch, and I'm sitting there going, how is this possible? And so now they are going back and explaining how that happened through this conversation.
Yeah.
Nancy's saying she waited, and I'm thinking, for what?
Yeah.
And Jonathan is saying, oh, well, it was only a month. First of all, why are you even waiting?
Yeah.
Like you actively appeared together.
I know.
You certainly seem to be all in the same spot. And if you're going to tell me that you're not waiting longer than a month because of Will, like, I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Don't buy it at all. You are in on that. Like, what happened here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no way that Jonathan should have let a month go by of like, oh, I don't know. Like, Will needs me. No, he doesn't. Like, he's back. You're fine. Like, you can all work this out as a group. Like, Nancy and Jonathan and Will, the whole Byers clan, the Wheelers kids, like, this is all a crew. Like, you're all together on the same team. And I know there's probably some of them that are like, okay, well, we did it and it's over.
Right.
It's not over.
No, and plus you just need, like, I'm sure Nancy needed someone, a companion that like understood what was going on and she could talk to them and relate to them and find that comfort there. So apparently Jonathan was, I think, just struggling in his own way, and maybe strikes me as the type of person that if he's struggling he kind of crawls into his own little cave instead of wanting to
Oh, for sure.
bond.
For sure.
Yeah, and so I think like then when he started to come out of his shell and it's like, well, Nancy's already moved on anyway, he probably thought, well, what was really there if she's already moved on this quickly? But it's just,
And
it's
not only moved on, but seemed to move backwards.
exactly like the guy that I mean, yeah, Steve has had a redemption arc already in the making, but it's there was a lot that just happened that it's like, really? You, after everything that we talked about, now you've made this pivot into hanging out with him.
Yeah.
That just must have been hurtful.
I'd have been frustrated.
And I think
if I was Jonathan, for sure.
Yeah, and just the fact that, I mean, he's still rescuing her from parties and is now right there by her side to, try to fight this monster and continue to battle with her. It's he still wants to be there for her, and he's gonna be there for her in this fight. I just think that he doesn't maybe know how to express other feelings yet. So,
Yeah.
either way, Nancy is rolling over in bed and she's just like all set with that last comment. So, then we're with Will, where he is startled awake out of sleep in the morning, and Mike is asking what's wrong, and we have Joyce on the floor with the drawings in the other room where she's clearly been up like all night looking at this stuff. And, Will said he saw Hopper and he's in trouble and he's gonna die. So he kind of comes out of his bedroom and is sharing this information with Joyce and Mike. And it's just like, oh, okay, now we have this piece of information. So that is, I guess, what like pulled him out of sleep so suddenly in the morning. So then we're with Hopper in the tunnel and he's throwing up some type of like black goop. It's kind of tar.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and it does not look good. It's not going good for Hopper. And he keeps walking through this tunnel, but it's like closed itself off, because I think that was already shown in the last scene, is like the vines are closing in on these other openings that had been there. It's probably limiting his access to other channels. So he's then realizing, I can't keep breathing this stuff. So he tears his sleeve and he's now using it as a mask. And he starts leaving pieces of cigarettes as like a little trail on the ground for himself too.
Yeah.
So at least he's awake. That's good. But
positive.
Yeah, that's positive. And then we're with Luke and his parents and his sister. So you get to see more of Lucas. I don't know why I'm calling him Luke right here in my notes. Lucas.
I was just gonna let it go, but it's definitely Lucas.
Apparently,
I don't know that I've ever heard anybody call him Luke.
Where Lucas is with his parents and his sister, and he's asking to go to Dustin's house. So he's
not asking.
Well,
he's just leaving,
you're right,
and going to Dustin's house. But it's funny. He does have a small conversation there with his dad where he's asking essentially, well, when mom is mad at you, how do you get her to be not mad? And
I love this part.
He's like, well, I just, tell her I'm sorry and then give her whatever she wants. He's like, well, what if she's wrong? He's like, oh, she's never wrong.
Yeah, wise words.
But this is Lucas fishing for advice on Max.
Yes.
On what to do here. How do you fix this relationship? Yes. And so he gets the information and then he's off on his bike. I'm going to hang out with Dustin. No, you're not.
Right by Dustin's
None of these
house.
kids are ever hanging out with whoever they say they're hanging out with.
No, and we have a wonderful scene that I'm sure you loved with Mr. Wheeler coming up on that very...
Oh my, Mr. Wheeler.
That scene is... Yeah.
Although, well, anyway.
Yeah. But so then
we'll get there.
Then we're with Dustin. Oh, this scene killed me, Eric. Dustin is telling his mom is like
Yeah.
panicking, looking for her cat, and Dustin is telling her that, oh, someone spotted her and they will find her. Like they'll figure it out. Like he is basically acting kind of
Well,
like a
he's
little
on the
psychopath. Yeah, he's on the phone.
he's on the
Oh,
phone with a dial
I hate
tone
this. I hate this.
and making it sound like he's on the phone with someone because listen, he's trying to protect his mom's feelings a little bit here.
I don't know.
And also he knows that there's a Demogorgon in
It's
the
a problem.
house.
It's a problem.
And so
Yeah.
he gets her to go really far away so that he can take care of the situation.
They haven't
And
shown like what the Demogorgon, like, is it still just busy eating the cat? Like, why is it not just like running through the house like a terror? Or like screeching and screaming. Like I guess I don't really understand.
that's a great
I don't
question.
understand how his mom, like, what is happening here?
Maybe after eating the cat, he just decided to take a nap. The Demogorgon's just sleeping in the corner.
Oh my god. I hate the scene.
Because there's no explanation for
Dustin
that.
just seems like really a 13-year-old is lying this well. It's very disconcerting. I am not a fan. It's like, it's very creepy.
Oh, listen. He did the same thing to Mr. Clark in the first season where
It's
he's
true.
like, why are you... He was very convincing on how he got Mr. Clark to give him all the information on how to make a sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, it's just, really still just not feeling so good about Dustin in this, this rewatch. Great acting here. Did enjoy that, but oh my gosh, this character, I'm like, I don't remember being so like annoyed, like just not annoyed isn't the right word, like just like concerned about Dustin.
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling that quite as strongly, but either way, then we're with him where he's luring Dart out of his room as he's like running into the shed. So he just leaves the door open and it knows
Oh, he's got a
he
trail
is
of...
trying to trick it.
It's got a trail of baloney going over there.
Oh, is
Gets-
that what that was?
It had to be.
That was baloney.
It's
oh my.
circular lunch meat. How many
I
circular
didn't
lunch
know
meats are
what
there?
the heck. I didn't know what he was dropping on the ground. I don't know. You're right. It must have been baloney. It looked too red. I don't know.
Nah,
It
it's
was
fine.
very red.
No,
Either way.
it was fine. As someone
Well-
with children who enjoy a bologna sandwich every now and then, it's pretty spot on.
Okay.
But he's throwing it down. He gets Dart all the way out to the I guess a bulkhead of sorts.
Yes, and he's hiding in the shed.
He's hiding nearby with his whole fatigues on. He's got his catcher's mask.
Oh my
He's
God.
got hockey pads on. He's ready to go.
That's right.
And Dart figures it out real quick that, there's something in this shed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's looking right at him, like through the little slats. And luckily, Dustin thinks pretty quick on his feet because he just runs right out and like slaps it with his hockey stick really hard. And it just knocks it back into this bulkhead. And Eric, we had one of these growing up where it's
Yeah.
like the metal doors that go, you don't see them too often. I don't know if it's just a New England thing, but either way, yeah, so that was reminiscent of what we had growing up where it then leads into a basement. Although this one looked like it was disconnected from the house, right? Like this was kind of a separate bulkhead.
So to me, like we had one that was connected to the house, as did
Yeah.
a bunch of our neighbors. I will say this to me, especially with it being in Indiana, strikes more like a, almost like a tornado shelter type situation where
Okay,
it's
fair enough.
it's not connected to the house. It's a like exterior cellar room situation that some people may or may not have. Very much like the Wizard of Oz. That was not connected to the house. And
Right.
they were able to go out and like get everybody or attempt to get everybody into this, cellar space. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it's called, but like it is
Well-
still the double bulkhead doors
That's
And
right.
nonetheless, Dart is knocked down in there, and then Dustin's able to
Luckily,
shut the doors and
yes,
lock him in.
that's right. And then we have this scene where we're with 11 and she's just casually, getting out of an 18-wheeler where
As
she's
one does.
hitchhiked. And I'm like, well, it seems like she's come across probably the nicest truck driver ever. Like, he seemed very sweet and like not at all creepy. And I was just like, this could have taken a turn, although not like 11 can't defend herself. For all we know, she's taken out like, 6 truck drivers before she found a nice one.
It's
I'm
very
sure
possible that
but
she's controlling this guy's mind the whole way there.
uh,
But I'm
well,
with you. I
hey,
believe well, it's
that's true.
possible. But I
Yeah.
believe that yes, he's just a very nice guy. And
Yes.
my wife Tina said, "How is this truck driver not called the police?"
Right?
And I think, this is just the 80s. And that's just
I
it.
think
Like
so.
that's just
Yeah.
the default answer. It's like, it was a different time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and who knows? It's like, yeah.
I mean, Jonathan literally bought bullets. He
Yeah.
bought bullets for a shotgun or
Yeah.
whatever gun it was that he had and a bear trap. And they were like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just monster
They're
hunting.
hunting
and they're
monsters.
like, oh, fair enough. Here you go, kids.
Yeah.
Have fun.
That's right. Well, that's right. And then 11, so she's taken this, she hitchhiked to get to her mom's house, right? So she's clearly told this truck driver this whole story. So then we're with her when she's smacking on this door because a knock isn't working. So, this person opens the door, who we know is 11's aunt. And this is who we met with Hopper earlier in Joyce last season. And, she's saying to 11, I don't want your Thin Mints or whatever you're selling. I ain't buying.
It's funny.
And she closes the door again. And so then we have this great scene where 11 is just slowly, now she doesn't bust it open like she
Nope.
easily could have. But she is clearly making it known that, hey, I can control this situation. She's unlatching the lock and slowly creaking this door open and just saying, I want to see Mama. Staring right at her.
And with all of the information that the sister knows,
oh,
she's like, got to be sitting there thinking,
like,
holy smokes, she was right the whole time.
oh,
Like, because
gosh.
you had Hopper and Joyce show up the year before. You've heard the story about Terry. She's been adamant that this girl is out there or was. And now she's kind of like into this trance. And here we are. The daughter shows up. And the aunt has got to be like, oh my God, this might actually be real.
Yeah, that just gives me chills to think about. It's like, she really was trying to do what she thought was the right thing and not like feed into a delusion, not realizing that this was not a delusion at all. And she's just been lied to, so if you're a conspiracy theorist, watching this show, it's kind of like, yeah, like this is the, and now she's finding out, oh, wait, like I've been lied to also. And just so crazy. I really don't fault the sister for,
No,
for going along with that. It's like, given the circumstances and then what she's witnessing, this is the information that she's being fed. And unfortunately, it's just all been a fabrication. It's really awful.
Well, I don't fault her in the same way that I don't fault Steve for trying to date Nancy in a very typical teenage dating way while she is dealing with all this other stuff. And to him, it hasn't really sunk in that this is a real issue. And so he's still trying to be like, hey, listen, maybe we can go out to a party, relax, like take our minds off some of this. And she's just so past that at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And the sister has got to be floored at this point that not only did Hopper and Joyce come knocking all these years later, But not long after that, here comes Jane.
Yeah, this isn't, and I think she's realizing, yeah, this is not a coincidence. This is real.
No.
This is not just someone who's trying to, make up a story. I mean, sure, she was using her powers right in front of her. So, then you have this scene where she's obviously well, 11 has let herself in, but she's invited her into the room where her mom is in the rocking chair, and Eleven's just saying to her, "Mama, can you hear me? It's me, it's Jane." And she just keeps repeating that same pattern of words over and over again that she was in the last episode, and really just staring into nothingness. And Jane, I guess I'll just I don't know if it's like calling her Jane or 11, but 11, wants to know what's wrong with her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a really tough scene. I can't imagine, 11 going through this as a child who is just basically being introduced to everything in the world outside of this lab, is now faced with this situation, and she's alone. So
I find it pretty amazing that 11 could even comprehend the status. No, not getting there.
Okay.
The address had to be in the file.
Sure.
Now, she didn't know if she was still going to be at that address, but that's the last address they had. So
yeah,
might as well start there. But the idea that she can comprehend the state of Terry and know that this is okay. I mean, Jane, 11, has barely been able to put two sentences together through most of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, doesn't understand keywords like, friend. Like, they have to teach her the entire vocabulary.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
And so to go from that to understanding, well, this human person is in this current state and can't really talk back, and that's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in for anybody. But for her, it feels like a real lot. Now, maybe this goes to how much she's learned from Hopper in the cabin.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with that. And, and also just the fact that this is her mother, and she's been so alone this entire time. And now you find your mother and she's in this really rough shape. And so it's just, and I really, where this scene goes pretty soon is just really well done, but just heartbreaking. And, but now we're with Jonathan and Nancy, where they are at, they went to, sorry, I was trying to, I was trying to decipher my own notes here. They went to, because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, is it either an office or a bunker from this investigator? Oh, I didn't write his name down. What was his
Murray.
name?
His name's Murray.
Murray, where they show up, and I love this, where he has the little camera outside, and he's trying to figure out who are these kids, but he knows exactly who they are. This is the guy who was hired by Barb's parents to figure out what was going on in Hawkins, and he's saying to both of them, "You two are a long way home," knew their full names, and let them in. And
for what it's worth, Murray's in a bunker. Okay, this isn't an office by any stretch of the imagination. I don't care if it's his office or not. He's in a bunker. This is what, conspiracy theorist 101. You're not just in some office.
No.
This is full-on support bunker in case the world's about to end. And
fair. Yeah.
I do love that he was able to identify them immediately.
Oh.
I think that just goes to how deep Murray has dived into all of this. He knows everyone associated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nancy's looking at all of his his postings on the wall and clippings and all this stuff.
Love this.
And she's like, yeah, that's great, but your timeline is wrong. And, Jonathan just looks at him and he's like, you might want to sit down for this.
Well, it's like, oh, yeah, this girl over here that you've got marked as a Russian.
Right.
Yeah, no, her name's 11.
Yeah.
And she's not Russian.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, these two are going to literally, they're not going to like try to draw yarn and fix it. They're going to tell me the whole dang thing right now, just point blank.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah. And then we're with Max being dropped off by her crazy brother at the arcade, and he's calling her a shitbird and she flips him off. So things are, I guess, as good as ever between the two.
What a lovely family question mark.
Yeah, it's like he still totes her around for everywhere, it seems, but it's like really at what cost? So, she goes into the arcade just to find that her game is busted. So Dig Dug it says out of order. There's a sign on it. And the guy, the kid who's working there, I forget what his name was, the kid who's working there, who reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite, kind of.
He definitely does.
Right. And
I wrote his name down for one of our shorts that we did on YouTube, and I forget what it is.
Sorry,
That's
Napoleon
all right.
Dynamite dude, but yeah, he comes over when she sees the out of order sign. And he's like, oh, I forget what he says to get her to go into the back room. He like has the other game back there or something.
Well, he's got Dig Dug like marked as out of order.
Yeah.
And then so she comes in and he's like, oh, this one's down, but I've got another machine here in this back room.
Oh, the other machine.
Just fine.
Yeah.
And so he opens the door, and Lucas
That's where Lucas is. Yeah.
Is sitting there, and she enters. And Lucas has apparently promised the date with Nancy. And good luck to you on that one, Lucas. I don't see that going down anytime soon.
Yeah, this is hilarious. It's like, are you kidding me? This kid like actually believes that, doing favors for any one of these kids, he's gonna get a chance to go with Nancy. All right. Yep, that's gonna work out really well for you. So Lucas wants to tell Max everything at this point, and that's why he's, wanted to meet up with her, and he tells her that she needs to accept the risk of him telling her. And and she clearly
doesn't believe him. Clearly doesn't believe the idea that hearing this story is going to genuinely put me at risk.
That's right.
Nor would anyone else.
No.
Despite how serious Lucas is being.
It's like, okay.
And he's trying to make it very clear that this is a serious matter. It's just not going to be believable because he's only 13 years old.
Yeah.
So it's genuinely not believable that whatever you're about to say is that serious, even though it is. And I do find it very interesting that we have now back-to-back scenes where people are telling it how it is. They're like, I'm tired of keeping this secret. We're telling Murray. We're telling Max. Yep. Everyone's going to be in on the know. And suddenly this word is spreading like the vines.
Yeah. That's right. And he's saying last year, Will got lost somewhere else, but it wasn't in the woods. And that's where
I don't even know how you tell that story. I'd almost love to have seen him do it, but it's just impossible to do.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to take up the entire episode probably with him recapping every single thing. She could just listen to our podcast for that.
There you go.
But then we're with Bob, where he's arriving at Joyce's house, and he has brought over a brain teaser for Will to try to help him get him out of his own head, which was just so sweet of Bob. I mean, gosh, I love Bob. And, Will.
I do like Bob. He's growing on me.
I know, me too. And Joyce is, she's just kind of like, well, thanks so much. And gives him a quick kiss on the cheek and says, I'll call you. And really is not about to just run off and not let him in. And then Joyce is kind of looking at this brain teaser and thinking, you know what though? Bob is super smart and great with puzzles, and I have a massive puzzle inside my living room. Also, Bob will do just about anything ever that Joyce asks him. So she's like, hey, come on in. and no questions. Like, she just basically says to him, Bob, you cannot ask any questions at all, but come on in here and we need your help finding a treasure. And I love this. This is totally a callback to the Goonies where he looks at one of these drawings and there's like, so X is where the treasure is, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yes.
and yeah, Will is not looking well here at all, and Bob is noticing that, and he's also looking at Joyce and like, yeah, you don't look so great either. Like, you guys look like you haven't slept in like a week. And but then as he's talking with her, he's looking over her shoulder and seeing Lover's Lake on the wall.
Right, right.
And he's starting to recognize things. And he's following the map. Well, at this point, just this drawing around and realizing, these lines, they aren't roads, but they act like roads. And it's a map of Hawkins. And he's looking at Will. He's like, right, Will? Right? Like, this is a map that you've drawn. And he's just like, Will's jaw is just dropped at this point. I think he doesn't, because he didn't even really know what he was doing himself right here.
No, he doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
He's just like
Possessed.
in the zone, like coloring all these sheets of paper to make whatever this thing is. And Bob is able to put it together. And he's able to figure out, okay, they're not roads, but they act as though they can't cross water.
Yeah.
So he's able to find different rivers and lakes all around the area that then he can put the rest of these lines around.
That's right.
So therefore, he's able to figure the whole thing out. And he's looking at Will like Will knows. Will doesn't know what he did.
Nice map. Like, this is great that you put this together, Will, right? And he's just like, okay, that sounds good. But then we're back with Hopper in the Upside Down, and he's coming across what look like a lot of dead animal bones. And that's when you also look to the wall, and it's all creeping around and moving. And he then lights a torch because this thing does not like heat, which we also know, that's what Will personally is experiencing with like the bathtub and everything. Like, it does not want to be around heat. And so, you can then recognize, what's affecting these, like, whatever has possessed this wall and these tunnels is also what is affecting Will, just in case that was not clear as you're watching that. It becomes very clear here. And, he starts digging through one of these walls with his hands after he's lit this torch as well. And
yeah, he's like burned all the vines out of the way, and he's given himself like a clear circle, very similar to the way 11 was able to come back through the wall.
I thought that too.
But I wasn't exactly sure where he was trying to go. Because
it's
remember,
not like a gate.
Like, to get back to normal would be to go under his feet because he's upside down. So it's not up above him, it's below him. And so he's going sideways.
Yeah, right.
Well, it might be above him if it's from his perspective. It might be above him. That being said, he's going through the wall to the side. So
and there's not like you can see light through where he's going either. So it's not clear what he's doing.
I'm wondering if he's just trying to like dig to the outside of the vine and then like make his way up through the ground. But like, people get buried alive that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't feel like a reasonable way to do it. And he never gets close. He never gets close to succeeding in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're with Dustin, where he's also digging.
Everybody's digging stuff.
That's right. And he's digging a hole in the ground to bury Mew Mew. And it
was time.
just it was time. This poor whatever's left of poor Mew Mew. Rest in peace, buddy.
Okay.
Um, and he's saying he has his walkie-talkie at this point too, and he's saying code red, code red. And this is where Erica, Lucas's sister, picks up and basically tells him to shut up and turns off the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I do like the fact that we get a little bit of Erica throughout this episode.
yes.
Yes. And I do. They do a little like sequence here where they're showing Dustin doing this, and then he's doing this other thing, and he's cleaning the carpet, and he's burying the cat, and all the while trying to get somebody on the radio. But
yes,
Mike and Will, they're not by the radio. Lucas, not by the radio. No one's by the radio. So he's not going to get anybody to hear him.
nope.
I do wonder if like Mike and Will could have grabbed the radio at Will's house. Like I feel like they would have had that. They know that that's a thing. But it's not like Mike was about to leave Will to go see whatever code red Dustin was doing.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like they just are very disconnected from Dustin at this point, which Dustin is kind of, he's
done that to himself this season.
Because he's trying to deal with this dart thing, but I don't know what they're even making of it. I think there's so much going on with Will that he's just not really concerned with that at this point.
No, I agree.
And now we're back with Elle and her aunt wants to know where she's been. She doesn't think Elle's mom will get better.
Yeah.
She's trying to explain to 11 she's not in pain, she's just stuck like a dream. And Elle is kind of like, is it a good dream? She always believes that you're out there and would come home, is what her aunt is telling her. That her mom knew that she was alive, and knew that she would come home, but it was really and I think she was trying to bring her comfort at this point because she knew that she wouldn't actually be able to communicate with her directly. And Elle is just saying home, because she knows this word. She's learned this word from Hopper. And she's saying, this is her home. And she brings her to her room, which this would be a total mess with your mind. Like, I mean, my goodness, bringing you to your baby room, essentially, where she has her crib there. And, she's asking, how do you feel? And you never believed that she was real. It's a really difficult scene.
Well, it's hard because she just, she's never been there. So it's not super sentimental for 11, but at the same time, it gives her a little bit of a view into what she could have had when she was little.
Yeah.
And it's tough as a parent, I guess. It is very difficult to watch. I think it's difficult for a non-parent to watch as well. But we do get then the flashing lights, right? Isn't that in this scene, or is that in the future?
Another important point was that her aunt is telling her, you can stay here now.
Yes.
How does that sound? Like, she basically is.
She opens the door.
Yeah, and she's saying, she's wanting to, I think,
Well, she offers to buy her a bed. She offers to get her a bed and say, like, listen, if you want to, you can stay here. And then she also says, if we're going to do this, though, you don't have to talk to me now. You don't have to talk to me today, but you're going to have to be able to talk to me at some point about what's going on. And I don't blame her for making that request. But here we are then with the lights.
Yeah, because then the lights do start flashing, and her aunt thinks that it's just the wiring. She's like, oh, this happens all the time. And, at this point, Elle is going, she's following the lights around because she knows that there is more to this, that this isn't just bad wiring, right?
No,
We've
we're
heard
back
that
to the
before.
Christmas lights here again. The
That's
electric
right.
is leading us on a path, and it takes
And
us
she goes
right
up
to
to her.
Terry.
That's right. And Terry has a bloody nose. And, she's saying, and Elle is saying she knows I'm here. And, you know, that's when she picks up the remote and she starts changing the channel on the TV until she gets one of those snowy, channels with nothing on it but the static.
Kids, that was a
And
feature of a
she knows I'm
previous
here
era of
and she wants to
televisions.
talk.
Yeah. That was
That's right.
that was,
Yes.
days gone by when channels just didn't exist on
No.
every single channel on your television because your
Imagine.
television had to have it. It wasn't the streaming network.
That's right. That's right. And hard to think back to those times, but here we are in the 80s and yeah, so what Elle is thinking at this point, that she's going to be busting out a blindfold and really trying to connect with her mom on that level. But for now, then we go back to Bob where they're measuring different distances on the map. And he's saying, the ratio isn't 1 to 1. And he's trying to find an approximate location for X. So he's trying to find,
I
where
cannot believe Will couldn't get a perfectly proportioned map
How?
written down.
With crayons.
I mean,
do you
it's unbelievable. You'd think the kid could do that. Jeez.
I know, it's like, it's
like-
amazing that yeah.
And he's like, well,
Yeah,
it's not quite 1 to 1, but it's good enough, though. It's good enough that they get him in the ballpark.
That's right. Now we're back at the Wheeler's house where, Mrs. Wheeler is she's on the phone. She can't be bothered to answer the door. There's a knock at the door and she's just saying, Ted, can you get that, please? Kind of talking out. It was just very interesting because they had her talking in one direction and Ted is literally like 6 feet right behind her. And it just shows this immense disconnect between the two of them. Like they
for sure.
do not
Like
communicate at all.
No,
It's
she
just-
doesn't even turn to say it in his direction.
No, like no eye contact. They're just so separate. It's really sad. But anyway, she's asking Ted, can you please get that? And he's like pretty much like unconscious half the time. Anyway, I don't even know what's going on with Ted.
I don't even know if he heard her.
Oh,
Because he's like,
I don't even know.
because then he all of a sudden he goes, I'll get it. And just kind of like gets up and I'm like, wait, did you hear her say that? Like, I don't think
I
he
know. I don't think so. He barely gets himself out of his chair to get the
did. But
door.
he does.
And then there's Dustin there. He's looking for Mike. And, they have no clue where the kids are. He jokes about how they don't even live here anymore.
Yeah.
And,
And of course, he doesn't know. He's got to ask Mrs. Wheeler, like, hey, is Mike here? No, he's at Will's. Was Nancy here? Where's Nancy at? She's at Allie's. First of all, wrong. Also, stayed the night at a hotel last night. Did you not know that?
Oh my God.
Like
so crazy.
It's-
yes. But I loved listen, I know that I've been really hard on Dustin and he really has been annoying me, but I loved this scene so much where Dustin is just like, son of a bitch, you really are no help at all. You know that? And it's like, Dustin is just like losing it, I feel like, in these scenes. I mean, he's seen.
Hey, language. That's what he said. That's Mr. Wheeler's response.
Language. Oh, and it's just like, you know what, dude? Like, you are just ridiculous. You are just totally useless, is pretty much what he said to him. And we all were thinking it. So Dustin at this point was speaking for anyone watching this show. It's just like, get your head out of your ass, Mr. Wheeler.
He
Oh my
spoke
God.
for the entire audience.
Yes.
And he listen, Dustin's had a rough go here, recently.
I know.
But Mr. Wheeler is not great. It's not great. I will say this. It's not his worst scene, though. He's had so many more where he looked completely incapable. This wasn't great, but it certainly wasn't his worst appearance.
I mean, but it was just really sad that he just had literally no clue. I mean, he was almost saying, oh, they don't even live here, but he really has no idea what's going on.
No, but there are times where he doesn't even like put the paper down. And he just is sitting there and they all just run through and he doesn't even know what's going on at all.
It's just sad. Yeah, it's
not
sad.
A great guy.
And I love, though, at this moment, too, Steve is showing up with a bouquet of flowers for Nancy and thinking, oh, he's going to make amends here. He's kind of going over like a speech he's going to, say as he's approaching, which was very sweet. He's trying, but kind of, Eric, like what you were saying earlier, he's not fully grasping the situation here again.
Well, he should
know.
Though. He has literally fought the Demogorgon with
At
them.
this point, he should.
So he knows what has happened. He doesn't know that
what's
it's
currently
happening currently again.
That's right.
But he is kind of still in that, well, let's fix this the same way that I would have fixed my relationship with any other girl at the high school. And you're just not going to get that done with Nancy. She's got too many other things going on.
That's right. And that's when Dustin is just grabbing these flowers out of Steve's hand. And he's like, don't worry about this. Don't worry about your love life. But because we have to get out of here. And he's just getting into Steve's car. I don't know. Did he get there on his bike? And now he's just like getting in the car. And
yeah. Well, I think he realizes like we're going to need a vehicle here to move along.
Yeah, exactly. So he sees an opportunity to use Steve for his car pretty much in this moment.
He does ask. He's like, are these flowers for Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler? Nope. Okay, let's go. It's time to go then.
Yeah. And this is, I think, really where then we see the friendship between Dustin and Steve start to blossom, which is great.
Yes. Yes, we like this.
Yeah.
Steve and Dustin.
Yeah.
All right, it's starting.
Sure. An unlikely duo, and I like it. So then we're back with Hopper, where he is really struggling to get through those vines, and they are just overtaking him. And he is trying to cut through, but they are just pulling him down. He has a little knife, and they, just cover him, and he can no longer reach the knife. He's in a lot of trouble here again.
He is in big trouble.
Okay, and now we're back with Max and Lucas, where Max just does not believe the story that Lucas has shared. So this is kind of, we're catching back up to them after Lucas has clearly told her everything that's happened. And she's like, you know what? I wish you had more originality. Like, how gullible do you think I am here? Like, you're trying to either impress me or you're just actually insane. And like, Lucas is like, this is not funny. Like, this is, this is real. This is not a joke. And he's like, we have one rule that friends do not lie, not ever.
Right.
And, and she's like, well, how do you explain this then? And holds up the out of order sign, because that was his ploy to get him to get her to go talk to him. And he's like, well, that was to keep you alive. And, she wants him to prove what's happened. And he can't. He's like, well,
and she starts saying, like, what's going to happen? Are the energy lab people going to come get me? Or is 11 going to... And he puts his hand over her mouth like, lower your voice.
Yes.
And hopefully, maybe at that moment, Max kind of gets the idea that...
A little bit.
Okay, he's being a little bit more serious than I expected about this.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she's brand new to this town, brand new to this group of kids. Like, she just figures, this guy is, like, messing with me, which you can't blame her. I mean, it sounds insane.
And she didn't even really invite herself into the group. Like, they sought her out.
Yeah.
They sought her out and invited her into the group.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was Halloween. It was trick or treat. And it's like, oh, not even sure if she's going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did, and it all kind of started from there.
Yeah.
But hearing this, I can't imagine she has to think it's real. It makes sense that she would think it's not real. But how do you prove it? There's literally no way to prove it. Even if you got everybody else to say the story again and back your play, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just not going to come out well.
Yeah. No, and then we have Max's brother pulling up to pick her up at the arcade, and she sees him arriving and is telling Lucas, like, stay back. Like, she clearly did not want her brother to see that Lucas was there. And her brother is he is what's his oh my gosh, Billy, thank you. Billy is just, his whole demeanor when he picks her up is psychotic, as I think I've called him in every scene that he's been in. But it's like, he's just casually, quietly, way too calmly, like, leaning by his window saying, like, hey, like, get in the car. And he knows
he's just
who she's
not
been
a good
hanging
person.
out with. He glares over and sees Lucas in the shadow. Like, he did not go away the way that Max asked him to. He kind of still was hanging in the doorway, and he catches, I don't know, he catches a glimpse of him and realizes, like, hey, you know what has to happen now. So he's, like, already threatening Max with something, because he clearly doesn't like that she's hanging out with Lucas. And it was just,
Well, and it's hard because Lucas tells her this whole story. He wants her to believe her. And then she says, like, on the fly real quick, hey, don't follow me out.
yeah,
And then
right.
leaves.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like,
What?
okay. And he doesn't, but he's still in the doorway.
Uh-huh.
And then he does end up following her out as the car pulls away. And it's like, on one hand, I understand Lucas not believing her, because, like, what is that all about? But you got to set that up. Like, she's got to fill him in on that side of things too, because clearly Billy is concerned about Lucas,
Like,
or just concerned about her being close to anyone.
Right? Because it's like, he doesn't know Lucas at all, and it's like,
No.
he just doesn't want her to have any friends. I
don't know. It's hard to tell right now.
What is happening here? Right? It's just really, it doesn't make any sense, and I cannot remember really the root of that. I don't.
No, I don't. I remember the overarching tale of Billy, but
Yeah, but
I do not recall the detail, like these early details.
Right.
So no, I don't remember exactly why he feels that way, but I just know that he does.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep learning about it as we go.
Then we're back with Jonathan and Nancy, and Nancy is playing the recording from the Department of Energy for the investigator. Sorry.
Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Murray. And he's busting out the vodka, he's putting the records on. He's like, listen, I need some, I think, a little bit. I think he says, like, he needs to take his central nervous system down a notch. So he's having some vodka, and he wants
needs to think about
music.
this. He needs time to think.
This is his coffee and contemplation, as Hopper would say.
There you go. There you go.
Then he also has this massive stack of old televisions, which was a bit startling.
He does.
Yeah, and
well, listen, he's in a bunker and he's got, like, eyes on everyone in Hawkins. This is not startling. This is what he does.
Okay. Well,
okay.
It's still...
I am not shocked at any of this.
Well, yeah. Murray's character is really great. I really enjoy him. And, Nancy, to me, in this scene is just being very naive, I guess. I don't know. The way that she's...
Well,
yeah.
For someone who has been through all the stuff that she has been through,
yeah.
I think she is very accepting of the supernatural, right? But I don't think she is super accepting of, like, the political game that needs to be played. Like the naivety of, oh, if I just tell them, then everyone will listen.
Yeah, it just
And
it's odd.
and ultimately, yeah, well, so Murray comes up with the idea of, hey, we got to water it down.
That's right.
We got to water this down.
I
Instead of telling your story, we need to make it scary but familiar.
Yeah.
Something that people will agree that's plausible. Because if we tell them the story as you have it, no one's going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we get these guys taken care of without making it insane?
Yeah.
Because no one's going to buy your story of the Upside Down and the Demogorgons and all that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
really,
maybe there was a leak at the plant and that these guys were responsible, and that's plausible, and that might have been what killed Barb, and we go from there, and it was a massive cover-up. So there is, Murray comes up with a really good story to tell here through his thinking time.
Yeah.
Of what is a reasonable assumption that you could tell someone and they would go, that makes sense to me.
That's right. I really like how he says people like the curtain. You know, it provides them with stability. And I like that line. It's like, yeah, I mean, people say they want to know everything, the truth behind, whatever mystery, but I think there is a lot of comfort in the not knowing all the details all the time for
and
a
he
lot
says,
of folks.
He's like, listen, if they play the tape, you're going to pull back the curtain that's behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to go multi-layers into what's behind the curtain here. Mm-hmm. And all it's going to take is one higher-up executive coming in saying, this is nonsense. Mm-hmm. And everyone will go, yeah, we thought it was nonsense too. And then the whole thing is over.
Yeah.
So...
And then we have a really brief scene back at the lab with Dr. Owens, and there are these soil samples there, and
oh yes,
and he's applying heat to one of the samples, and then we just see it start to levitate, and the rest of the samples are responding to it, and it's just like, wait, what's happening here?
Well, these feel like they've captured samples of like that spider leg, all the like smoke that's been, traveling in and out of Will and in and out of the Upside Down as he saw it. It's like they've got samples of that, and the heat, obviously we know it doesn't like heat. Mm-hmm. So as one of them starts to form in that tornado style, the rest of them do too. Yeah. Interesting discovery. I'm not sure exactly where we go from there, other than the fact that we know that that's in the soil now.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then we're back with Elle and her aunt, and Elle is blindfolded, and I think her aunt really wants to give her messages to send to her mom. Like, she's kind of telling her, like, hey, remind her, that I love her. And she's just like, stop talking. Stop talking. I need to focus and, get into the zone. And then we're with Elle in that black space where, she's trying to talk with her mom again. She's still seeing her in the rocking chair, and she's saying, it's Mama, it's me. I'm here now. I'm home. And she grabs her wrist suddenly. Her mom does. And she makes eye contact directly with her. And then you have this really intense sequence of blurred visions. So you're with you're in her mom's thoughts at this point, right? So
it's like her eyes that you're seeing through all of a sudden.
Exactly. But also watching her too. So it's like she's almost in her memories because she's seeing her mom giving birth to her. So she is with her when she's collapsed, and she's being told to just breathe, all right? And there is a lot of blood too, and there's flashes of the hospital, and she's being given oxygen, and she's being cut open to have the baby, and you hear a baby crying. And you look over and you see Papa there too, much younger. And, You just
Mm-hmm.
get these flashes of like blurry flowers, and then you see, her sister's face. So Elle's aunt who's been there, and um, you know, they're injecting her then, and she has a gun, and she's going then to the Department of Energy. So it's like you're seeing this series of events really quickly of what happened. So she's given birth, she's been drugged, the baby's been taken away, and now she is hunting down the people who have done this to her and trying to find her daughter at the Department of Energy. So she's taking out a security guard, and she's seeing this room with a rainbow on it, which is making you think of, oh, this is the pattern of things that she's been saying, right? So she then busts into this room where she sees two little girls, assuming one of them is Jane at a really young age, and she goes to grab her, and then you have Papa, where they are strapping her down, and you see them giving her ECT. So these like electric shock therapy, but they are like turning that thing up way past where you would for any, I guess, normal treatment, although that treatment sounds terrifying no matter what level of degree you're getting it. But I know that it is used to treat certain extreme cases of depression, but they have just basically their intention is to zap her to the state that she is
Yeah.
in now, and just kill
We're
all of her
she's
normal
not
brain
she
function.
they're not
Yeah.
no, they're not trying to
No.
help her here. They are trying to eliminate this as an
Essentially
issue.
kill her. Yeah.
And I mean, yes, in a sense. So she
And now she's
like
just
all
living
the different
in this loop.
yeah.
So this loop that we saw spread out is the reason we're seeing it as the viewer, is because now we
Yeah.
understand this
She
is the
sees
loop
like breathe
she-
and sunflower
Oh,
and rainbow
yes.
and 3 to the left, 4 to the right, and
Right, because that's like
and
this
then
little
450, and it's
Oh.
all the different, like it's the
It is
level of
awful.
electric activity, it's the safe that she's going into, it's the rainbow
terrifying.
on the door, and you do see that she does see 11 and another little girl who I think has to be the one from the first episode of this season.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That had to have been her. And yeah, this is just Eric, this is like my nightmare. I mean, I think it's like you're just caught in this endless loop of like also the most horrifying moment like in her
Yeah.
life. It's just this I mean, it's awful. This is terrible. But then we are, that scene kind of cuts off pretty quickly, because then we're back with the map and Will is saying that he knows it's the way in to his now memories, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Because they're in the car and they're on their way to, well, they don't know, but they're on their way to Hopper. And well, they're hoping that that they know that they're going to Hopper, but either way.
They know they're going to Hopper. Will said that Hopper was like gonna die, and so they asked where he was, and they marked it on the map, and they've found. Now they don't. Now Bob doesn't know that.
Okay.
Bob
fair.
doesn't know what the X represents, but the rest of them all know exactly what they're going for.
Yeah, and they see
And so
his
when
truck.
when they pull up behind the truck, because Will has now said, "Make a right," and Joyce just boom, like immediately turns right, goes through some sign, and then all of a sudden is right there behind Hopper's truck. And Bob's like, what is he doing out here? And we get the opportunity to then cut away the vines and drop down into the Upside Down.
That's right. And Joyce is like saying to Mike and Will, stay in the car. And she's just going out and seeing this.
Like they know what's going on. Will already sees down there. It's fine.
I know, and they're looking down, and Bob is like, "Are you kidding me with this?" Like, there's like these moving vines, and Joyce is like, "All right, I'm going down there." It's like, "Are you what? What is happening?" And she just busts through with a shovel, and she's like, "Bob, now I need you to help me get down there." And Bob is right there for Joyce all the time, and he's helping her, lowering her down, and he's realizing, is this Will's map? Like, we are inside Will's map right now.
Yeah,
And
he figures that out very quickly. Like, this is
uh-huh,
the map that Will drew.
that's right.
Which of course now he's got to be thinking like, how did Will know this even existed?
Yeah,
That is the next
exactly.
like line of thought that comes from that.
And Joyce is just screaming for Hopper, and I'm just thinking as I'm watching this, how are they gonna get out of here? Like, they just dropped down. I don't know. It seemed like they didn't drop a ladder, no rope. Like, how are they planning on getting out of here? Um,
Listen, you do one thing at a time.
and well, Joyce then finds Hopper's cigarette trail, and so she starts picking those up, and then we're back, outside of the Upside Down with Will and Mike, where they're standing there, kind of looking around, trying to figure out, like, okay, I guess we're just gonna be waiting. But then the Department of Energy vans pull up, and
Yeah, and you know what's funny? At that point, I thought to myself, if I was Will or Mike,
yeah,
and you see the Department of Energy rock up,
yep.
am I just jumping into the hole?
I
Am
think
I
I
just
would.
like, I'm out of here? I
Yeah,
think I might.
I think
I
I
don't
might
think
too.
I'm sticking around.
No, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I feel like I would just like roll the dice and just go there instead of, because that's really what their
Now,
objective is. It's going to be down there to
now,
defeat.
yeah, but I mean, the opposite side of the coin is
Mhm,
these are not the same Department of Energy people,
that's true.
and maybe you have a better relationship with them. So,
Yeah.
is this? Do we have a little bit of faith in them? And we find out where we go from there.
Well, yeah, because Joyce sees Hopper's arm and she's like, "Oh my God, there he is. We need to cut him out." And, they finally, Bob actually sees the knife and he
Yep.
grabs it, and they
Well,
start
Hopper
cutting.
says knife.
That's
Hopper
right.
says knife. He's able to hear him say knife, and he
Bob
finds it,
spots
so
it.
they get it, and and they go from there, just cutting all the vines off of him.
And then he just wants it himself, because then he's like, "Just give
Yep.
it to me." And he starts slashing out the vines himself, and he's cutting himself free at that point. And, she's just like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And, Joyce is just, embracing Hopper and just trying to make sure he's fine. And Hopper's like, "Oh, I'm Jim. You're Bob. All right. Hey, how's it going?"
He's like, hey, Bob, how's it going?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, because they've got to know. It's small town. They all know each other.
yeah.
But yeah, it's got to be a little awkward for Bob to
Uh,
come down here and realize that we're saving Hopper.
I
But at the
know.
same time, what?
Seems a little crazy. I think he's like, the
Yeah,
circumstances here, this is not normal.
this is not normal. He has figured that out. I mean, even back before, he was trying to say to like Joyce, "Hey, listen, you can let me in on all this stuff. Something's wrong here,"
Yeah.
before he even solved the puzzle.
Yeah.
And then they got into puzzle solving
Yeah.
mode.
And I
But anyway,
and I should
all of a
reiterate
sudden,
too, it's not like Hopper was introducing himself to Bob, because these guys have all
no,
grown up together. Like,
that's
it
what I'm
was
saying. They
just more
know
like,
each other. He said, "Hey, Bob."
yeah, it's just like, "Hey, what's up?"
But then we get the
But
guy
they're torching
looking
the
like
vines.
Marty McFly, like
Oh,
showing up
yes,
in
the
his
hazmat
whole
suit.
hazmat suit,
Yes.
like looking like coming from another planet,
Yep.
and he just starts roasting the vines.
Oh, and that's when, because this thing, as we pointed out earlier, is also what's affecting Will then goes into this really intense epileptic seizure where he is just, yeah, he's just seizing on the ground, and he drops
Yeah,
at the same moment that he's tortured. So it's like, oh my God, Will is now being like burnt alive. Is that what's happening here? It looks terrible.
Sure does feel that way, and from what we know, I wouldn't be shocked if that's the feeling that we get. But we get that
exactly
right to the credits,
and that's it.
Bum, bum, bum. So now, with our recap concluded, we will talk about our IMDb rankings of this episode, what the fans have said, what we say, and our favorite and least favorite character. So with all that now being said, I will jump in here first. And I'll talk about my least favorite character. I feel like I like always going least first. My least favorite character in this episode is going to be Jonathan. I don't, and it's really by omission, because Jonathan's role at Murray's was slight. It wasn't a whole lot. He didn't have a lot to do at Murray's. And when it came to the scene with him and Nancy at the hotel, he did his best. He was trying to say, like, hey, I gave you time, but it clearly struck a nerve. And part of me wanted to pick Nancy because of her reaction to him. But Nancy was so good at Murray's that I feel like I have to go with Jonathan.
Yeah.
Those are the only two scenes they're really in. Well, there's a few small ones in between, but those are the two big ones that stand out for those two characters. And I don't have any problems with a lot of the other people. Like, I know you're probably going to have an issue with Dustin here, but
yeah,
Dustin was fun. Like, I feel like he started to try to redeem himself. I don't have a problem with him lying to his mom on the phone, trying to save her from a Demogorgon that's hiding in the house somewhere, even though I agree you should be able to hear it.
Yeah, I didn't really see it. I just saw that it was him trying to cover his own ass. Like, I don't think that,
maybe,
I don't know.
maybe.
I mean,
I'm sure part of it.
Yeah, it's like, it was just really not good.
Well, they should have killed it immediately.
Yes.
But they didn't, and here we are.
Right. And he still could have. While it was like eating his cat, why did he not murder it right then? Why?
I mean, listen, the opportunity has arisen. That you're not, as it grows, you're going to have less chances.
Yeah.
So,
well,
how about you? Who's your least favorite character?
For me, I struggled with this one because, yeah, no one really stuck out to me like, wow, they were awful. I feel like for me, while I really do love her character, in this one, I was just frustrated with Max, and I understand why she felt the way that she did, because it's a really crazy, insane story. But I just feel like I wish that in that moment she had just understood what Lucas was trying to come across, the authenticity of Lucas's story. But I also understand why she wouldn't have, but yeah.
It's reasonable for her not to understand it as well. Yeah. Like, it's the same story that Steve had to struggle with in season 1.
Yeah. And she's not seeing it yet. So seeing
No. Seeing is a little bit more believing in this situation.
Yeah.
And I will say I almost picked Lucas for my favorite character because I thought he did a very good job doing everything that he could. I really also like the scene at his house in the morning, like where he was talking to his parents, and we get to see Lucas's dad for the first time and things like that.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't ultimately pick Lucas because I picked Bob.
Yeah, it's a good
episode. I really liked everything Bob did.
Yep.
You kind of see the writing on the wall here that Bob's days in this situation are numbered.
Oh,
but
poor Bob.
But Bob is the hero.
Yeah.
Bob figured this out. Hopper would be dead if it wasn't for Bob.
That's right.
Like, Bob solved the puzzle. He's the best puzzle solver they got.
That's right.
And not only that, like, he's still doing his best to try and be a dad for the boys, like bringing over games and things like that. When he is involved in the puzzle solving,
I know,
he's still trying to like do right by Joyce. He is helping where necessary. He helped her down into the Upside Down and then dropped in himself. Didn't have to, but he did.
I know.
And so then the two of them went marching through this whole thing, found Hopper, saved Hopper. He's the one that finds the knife too. Like, I'm going, like, Bob was my favorite character throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, that's a very great try. I mean, I easily could have picked Bob as well. He was on my short list. I ended up going with Mike because although it was a short scene, like I just really loved that the portion of the episode where he was so supportive to Will, because Will is just like completely alone in all of these feelings, and so for Mike to be there as his friend, I just felt like that was really great because we've seen some not great aspects of how Mike has reacted to different things, but I think at the end of the day, it's really a lot of it has been just to protect Will too. So he's a really good friend, like the way he stepped up here.
I totally agree. I love him calling Will a super spy early on. I thought that was really great, and it really set the tone for Will being a little bit more successful throughout this entire episode. Okay, so let's talk about ratings.
Yeah.
Do you have a rating already picked out?
I do. So like I said at the beginning, I tend to pick out my ratings like right after I finish watching the episode. That's where I try to just like lock it in. I'm like, okay, this is really how I feel about this episode. And I liked it a lot more. I gave the last episode just a solid 8.
You did?
This one I gave an 8.6. I really like this one. I think this.
So this is your favorite of the season then?
Yeah, I really liked how it was jumping back and forth between, Hopper in the Upside Down throughout the entire episode and just their journey on how to find him. And I really loved Bob's, character in this episode too. And then all the different side stories, because you can see how it's all going to be coming together. Max is like resisting, but she'll get into the fold. Lucas is trying to, share this experience with her, and then we have Dustin also dealing with the Demogorgon. It was just really good episode. How about you, Eric?
I also gave it an 8.6.
Really?
I did.
That's funny.
I did. So my previous favorite episode was episode 3, Pollywog. And I gave that an 8.5, and I said, this is just a little bit better. This is a little bit better than that. So I want to give it an 8.6. I do think it is the best episode of the season so far. So I won't be shocked if the fans also vote it above an 8.5, because that's the last episode and that was the highest as well. So, so I have it as an 8.6. You have it as an 8.6, and give me a second here to pull this up. Okay. So on IMDb, episode 5, Dig Dug, gets an 8.8. So even a little bit higher than I have it and you have it, but I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised that it's continuing to elevate as we go.
Yeah. And I mean, because, and also the whole thing with Elle, connecting with her mom. I mean, all of this was really huge.
Okay. So, maybe I'm going to stand on an island on that one. I'm really glad we get the information from that story that we do. But I don't need to see 11 seeking down a mom that she never had. I don't know that story is all that interesting to me. But it's better than her just sitting in a cabin doing nothing. And she's not connected with the boys. I would have much rather seen her try to connect with Mike still somehow, as opposed
but now she
to
has all this information though. Like that's where I really I felt like they were able to get through that flashback sequence that she received when connecting with her mom. Now she has the full story. And so how else would they have really
I don't know.
That,
So that's where I'm like, I do like the information that was acquired through this story. But I don't I'm glad it's quick. That's what I'm saying. Because that's like the part of the episode, not the whole sequence with her like actually being able to talk to her mom, but a lot of the 11 scenes through this one, they're just not what I want to see from 11. I want to see a little bit more action-packed stuff when she's around. And I know it can't be that way all the time. But if
you had the moment where she opened the door, and that was a taste of
that was cool.
Really
that was cool. But I think when I see her being sentimental, I like seeing it more when it's with Hopper or with one of the boys, or in the future when it's with Max. Spoilers, that's coming. Like, those are much cooler scenes to see her interact with. Like, I'm just not connected to Terry Ives enough to care about this.
Well, that is true. And I did see a quick note on, apparently a viewer picked up on the fact that Terry's house is 515. 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11. And so that was her street. That was
they
her
did
street
say
address.
that. Like she did say that she was getting off at 515 515, and that's 11. I guess that's true.
And someone also was picking up on the fact that did you catch when Hopper was being I guess at that point kind of escorted by the guys in the hazmat suits out of the tunnels? He leaned down and he grabbed his hat really quick. He always has his hat. And
I almost mentioned that. Like, the guy put the fire down and he like almost reached into the fire to grab his hat back. So he absolutely made a purpose to go back and grab his hat.
Yeah, and I feel like they draw some references to Indiana Jones, and that's kind of where that comes from.
I was going to draw him to Woody in Toy Story, because there's a whole thing with Woody in Toy Story where he's got to have his hat.
Always has his hat.
It was hard, like, because what was it in the? Listen, I've got kids and stuff, so it was like the third Toy Story where they do like the garage sale, and they find a Woody, like Woody is sitting there, and the kids like finds the Woody doll with the hat because it's so hard to find him with the original hat. It's cool.
These movies they're awesome.
Toy Story's amazing.
Even if you don't, I don't have kids.
If you don't have kids, I don't care. Watch them anyway. They're great.
We like to watch. I think it was last year is when we went through all of them again, and I'm like, man, unless I just want to sit down and have a good cry, like. Those movies are rough. I'm going to
say this. I'm going to say, listen, I know we're we've wrapped this up already, but we're going to keep on going here. Toy Story 3 ends in the perfect ending. It is the absolute perfect ending to any movie trilogy.
There is no ending.
No, but they should have left it there. But then they did Toy Story 4. And they also had a very nice ending. And now Toy Story 5 is coming out this year.
There's a new one. I'm excited.
And so, like, well, how's that happen? They're not even in the same place anymore.
I don't know.
It'll be very interesting.
These movies never end. They just keep
Maybe it's a prequel.
Going. If there's money to be made, they come out and listen. They've all been cute. And I really like them.
But listen, all Disney does at this point is churn out sequels.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Moana.
Yeah, there's really no new ideas. This
Toy
is all
Story.
Just recycling.
Yeah, Inside Out came out with another one. Like, they're all just churning in sequels.
That's right.
Thanks so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate all of the support that we're seeing there. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, repost, all the little buttons on the side there. We really appreciate it when you click those, or leave a comment. I will always comment back to you if you're leaving comments.
Eric's good.
Check out our website. I'm trying. Our website is werunonreruns.com. All the podcasts are there in their entirety. Go check them out there. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 6 this week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check our Instagram, our TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate. I'm going to do this whole thing again.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check out our Instagram and TikTok. Oh my goodness, it is late. And this is the problem. I'm doing it again.
It is late. It's late. Okay.